It is December the 30th, around 12:30 p.m. And this is Fall Creek in Mayo River State Park, North Carolina. We received a lot of rainfall in the past couple of days and the creek is very swollen. I'm at the brink of Fall Creek Falls, one of the largest waterfalls in the Piedmont region of North Carolina. So let's go down there and check it out. This is Fall Creek Falls, a really impressive 15-foot waterfall in Mayo River State Park. There's also a secondary name for it, which I forgot, but it's in the North Carolina Waterfalls book. It's named after the old mill. You can see some of the stone wall in that little corner on the left. This is a great little spot. It's only a couple hundred yards from the gravel parking area in a very new addition to Mayo River State Park, which is also one of the newest state parks in the state. This is a really easy waterfall to get to from US 220 near the Virginia border. And I've never been here before, even though it's pretty close to where I live, about 85 minutes away. It's pretty close to Hanging Rock State Park, but I've just never gone this way because there are hardly any trails to hike in the state park, and it's not like me to visit a waterfall like this without some more hiking involved. But I'm doing a pretty easy day today, and I thought I'd visit it after the rainfall. And it's really lovely. It's a really cool spot. I can see this would make a really nice swimming area in the summer. Pretty safe area to bring your kids. Great spot. It's nice to see a waterfall of this size east of the mountains. And not too far downstream, Fall Creek flows into the Mayo River, which is a major tributary of the Dan River. It's around 1:45 p.m. after the very short hike to Fall Creek Falls. I've driven to the Mayo Mountain Access of Mayo River State Park. This is actually about 15 miles away from Fall Creek Falls. This state park is a bunch of small units located along the Mayo River or just off of it near the Virginia border due north of Greensboro. Mayo Mountain Access is the largest unit in the park, is home to the park office, and the only two official trails within the state park at the moment. They're both interconnected, so I'm doing the long one, the Mayo Mountain Loop trail, which is listed as 1.8 miles. It's going through this relatively open forest. I don't really know if it ascends to the top of Mayo Mountain, which I believe is only like 1,000 or 1,100 feet. I think it's more just like a nice little loop, nature trail type thing, because it has some signs about the trees and stuff. When I do these shorter hikes like this, I rarely bring my trekking poles, so I rely on holding the camera out, selfie style, but at least I remember to bring my mini tripod, which gives me a little bit better distance. But this might still look really bad because the sun is directly in my face, and it's really hard to avoid it in this deciduous forest. All the leaves are gone everywhere. It's really bright. It's a nice day outside, but direct sunlight's not really good for video. So Mayo River State Park, it's one of the newest, as I said earlier. It was established in 2003, and it's kind of like a paddling park similar to the Lumber River State Park and New River State Park and some of the coastal state parks we have. There's no plans in the future for a robust trail system. I think they're more focused on water recreation, and the eventual plan is to protect about 30 to 40 miles of the Mayo River in North Carolina and Virginia to have a continuous paddling and kayaking or camping experience. So that sounds pretty cool because I've always wanted to do a couple night paddle on the New River near Jefferson, North Carolina, but that's pretty far away from me, and this would be a lot easier logistically for me to do my first type of kayak or canoe backpack type trip. But I think about halfway through the loop, I'm not sure what else I'm going to see, but I'll give you some nice pictures of the forest. I wasn't expecting any old growth trees, considering where we are in the state and the relatively gentle terrain, but this one is a monster. This looks to be a tulip poplar given its diameter and its bark, and that is easily 4 feet across. That is huge. That is just as big as some of the massive old growth poplars I've seen in the mountains. Just compared to everything else on this trail, it is very impressive. The tree on your right is about 2 feet in diameter, just for comparison. Just beyond the other intersection with the inner loop trail, the Mayo Mountain Loop trail drops down to parallel this beautiful little creek that feeds the artificial ponds near the park office. In the summer, I bet this is not much more than a trickle, but recent rains, wintertime, means it looks very beautiful right now. You get that really standard vertical bank eroded cut through that you see in a lot of the Piedmont creeks, where they just slice right through the clay, and everything's really silty with sediment. No more rocks. Flow is getting a little bit slower as it gets close to the first of those tiny lakes. Back at the parking area, they don't provide you with free maps, probably because they're not worth printing, but this is the Mayo Mountain Access tract. You can see it's pretty bare bones. Office and the 2 loop trails right here and the 2 tiny lakes I was talking about. So this is really all there is to this area of the park. Tiny park office up there. This is the parking area. The trail starts at that sign over there. This is the first of the small lakes, and then this is slightly larger. I guess the creek continues on from there. But, in total, the waterfall and this is probably about 2.2 miles of hiking. And that's all you're going to get in Mayo River State Park at the moment. Maybe sometime down the line in the future, there will be more to see on foot. But for now, the best way to enjoy it is by boat.